How do you define success in your life? In today's video, I'll walk you through my new way of thinking about that question. If you're new here, my name is Olivier and I'm a certified math and physics teacher in Ontario who is currently doing a master's in statistics at Carleton University. So lately on the Rational Reminder podcast, great podcast, all the links will be in the description below. I've heard on episode 135, William Begen, I think that's how you pronounce his name, said that the last question they asked in that podcast is how do you define success in your life? And he had an interesting answer. He said he asks himself 3 questions every night. 1, today did I learn anything new or did I create something? 2, did I do anything to help anybody? 3, have I given proper attention to the mystery and wonder of the experience of being alive? So these 3 questions really resonated with me because they aligned with what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to learn or create. I identify as a lifelong learner and also as a creator. I'm making a YouTube video. 2 is to it's to help people. So it's like this dance between like self-actualization. That's kind of the first one, is getting better and creating things and figuring out who you are and refining your ego and so on. But then the second part is kind of to transcend your ego. So it's like the Scott Barry Kaufman and Abe Maslow dance of like between self-actualization and self-transcendence. They can go together. And I think it's other words, but in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, it's the dance between independence. So you want to be an independent member of society and then become interdependent. So it's kind of the transcendence is the next step above that pyramid. So they go together, right? Like you can do both at the same time. And so they really resonate with me. And then the last one is to pay attention. Did you take time to slow down? And based on my other videos, I care about my happiness and mood levels. You can check the cards and suggested videos, but yes, it's important to slow down and pay attention because it is about the journey, right? So have I paid enough attention to the journey, or am I did I use this day as a means to an end and light about being happy tomorrow or next year or whenever I get that next job and so on. So they do align. And here are some common examples of activity that fall in each bucket. I started tracking it in my Dailyo app. I'll put the videos for that as well. So every night I answer. It takes like less than a minute. Boom, boom, boom. Did I do my 3 check marks? And most of the time the answer is no. But here are some activities that would count, for example. So in learn or create, if I read, wrote, recorded videos, if I programmed, if I wrote a report, something like that. The second one, if I help people, if I had good conversations, ask insightful questions. So that's a way I can help my friends and the people around me. If I did a good deed to a stranger, it can be small acts of kindness with my partner. Volunteer or coach. If I teach to some extent, if I get paid for it, it's another question. But if I go beyond my job or stay after hours, then I help people. And YouTube to some extent, I'd like to think it helps people, and hopefully it helps you. Let me know if it does. And the last one for attention, well, if you meditate, journal, play with animals / kids. My cat's sleeping just over there, so sometimes I slow down, and I think it's Jordan Peterson's rule number 12, pet a cat when you see one, and it's kind of like that, right? Enjoy the journey. Listen to music, go for a walk in silence, spend time in nature. Those are all things that I do and that I did before. So the check mark is just like an additional framework to reflect on your day and being reflective. And it's a Socrates quote of the unexamined life is not worth living. A little bit of a hot take, leave that up to you. But I do think some amount of self-reflection is beneficial. And it's just the whole philosopher and stoic idea of looking back on your days and evaluate your days. And that's kind of the ruler to measure the quality of my days here. There's often days where I feel like I've done a million things and I'm just running around, and then I look back at the end of the day and I can't check off any of the items. I didn't learn anything useful or create anything useful, didn't stop to think about the day or pay any attention, and I didn't help anyone. I was just focused on me, doing things that don't matter. And then on the other hand, there's days that I used to feel like I just wasted, and I look back and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I've watched a cool YouTube video, I've learned, I'm probably gonna make an article about this, I've had a cool conversation with this, I took the time to help my neighbor or my parents, something like that, and I played with my cat, or I meditated, or I wrote down in a journal, or I went for a walk in silence. So that's a productive day. I checked off all the things, and it's a good way to, for me anyways, to evaluate my day, because it helps me be satisfied with my day. The bar is low and I can clear it every day, and it's pretty easy to clear it. A good way to make sure you clear it is also to pay yourself first. That's the principle for money in Wealthy Barber, to save 10% of your income and do it automatically, so to pay yourself first. But I also apply that principle to my time, so I try to give the first hour, the first 10% of my waking hours to taking that time for me. So you can do all those things in the morning if you want, or you can spread them throughout the day. Do whatever works for you. And lastly, there's a quote from Derek Sivers that kind of summarized all these things, and I actually wrote down the quote before I found out about the 3 questions. So it's funny how they're in good alignment, because I found those 2 things and I liked them separately, and I realized later on while writing this article that they were actually connected. Derek Sivers, in his book Anything You Want, good book, very short read. Are you helping people? Are they happy? And he's talking about his business, by the way. When you create a business, are you helping people? Are they happy? Are you happy? Are you profitable? Isn't that enough? I think that's like very sound advice, especially in the business world, when it's kind of a shark mentality and go. And it's a summary of the 3 questions. So let me know what you thought and put that in the comments. If you want to be part of the Do the Work community, make sure to do all the YouTube things. Hit the subscribe button, like button, but really share it with your friends. That's the best way to grow this community. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time with Do the Work.